Okay, hello everybody and welcome to Friday Flexes. I'm Tracy Forsyth and I am the host of Yoga in the Boardroom, and I'm so delighted to be joined this week by a very special guest, Claire Dale. So Claire Dale is a movement specialist. She is the leading exponent of physical intelligence and the co-author of this book, which I really recommend you buy. So Claire is an incredible coach and trains from board level down to newly hired employees to help people understand how to achieve peak performance through physical intelligence. And she's here today to give her advice and tips on how we can relax, get rid of tension at the end of a busy week. Hello, Claire, and welcome.
Hello, Tracy, and hello, everyone. It is really superb to be invited and to be here with you to do this Friday, to be part of Friday Flexes. Love it.
And just to explain that I met you on your brand new Coaching for Physical Intelligence course, where you're taking normal coaches who don't have necessarily any experience in bodies, etc., and teaching them how to understand the body's chemicals, and teach them techniques which they can then use themselves and with their clients. So explain a little bit more about physical intelligence.
Yes, well, whatever you do with your body, you're changing your inner chemistry. Whenever you have a particular thought or a particular emotion, this is chemistry as well. And we are, in a sense, we are our history, and we are the impact of the current moment that we're in on every cell in our body from a chemical perspective. And so you can think of us as a sort of imprint of many moments in time. And if you want to coach, if you're being coached, or if you're coaching, then you want to create change in yourself or in others. And actually, you can't really change your approach to your life or make significant changes that you might want to, unless you bring the body along, because the body will tell you if it's resisting. It will be holding back, it will be tense, it will be shouting or whispering to you in various ways, if something feels wrong, too frightening, too challenging for right now. And so to ask the body to release and then ask the questions about how was that week? What would I do again differently? What am I really proud of? Then we can use the body to support both that change, the questioning, and also the celebration of the fact that I'm guessing that you've all been through a busy week, a week of challenges, and a week sometimes with struggles in, and hopefully a good few achievements.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I picked this time Friday afternoon because it's normally the time when my neck feels like concrete. I've been in the hunched over laptop position the whole week, and I just really feel like I need to stretch out and to release all those muscles. So normally I show a few kind of desk and chair stretches, but today we are in your hands, Claire. So we want to release all that tension on a Friday afternoon before sliding into the weekend. What should we do?
Lovely. So I've got a sequence for you, which I'm going to, as we go through, just explain some of the physiology that's going on underneath, because very often we do stretches, we know they feel beneficial, but we don't always know why. So I'm hoping to expand your understanding and share some of the inner workings of why these things work. Why does stretching work?
Yeah.
I
have to say, I love that, because even though I'm an advanced yoga teacher, what I didn't know is the science. And that's what I've learned from you, is the science behind the chemicals in our body, and how to kind of hack it a bit to make yourself feel better. But anyway, that's
right. Yes.
Yeah.
So listen, let's just start, as Tracy's mentioned, the neck, and we'll come full circle and end back at the neck as well. But just to give them the necks a little bit of a stretch, you can just take your hands behind your head. Breathe, relax, make sure you're grounded. You could do this seated, or feel free to stand up as Tracy and I are. And then feeling like you're opening up the space in the back of the neck, just very gently press the skull, the back of the skull, back into the hands. resisting, clasping the hands. So you've got a nice basket there for the head, the back of the head to sit into. And then just pressing the skull gently but firmly back into the hands. So you're trying to open up the space in the back of the neck. And we're going to come back to this top area of the spine at the end of a sequence of movements, but we'll start with it now. And then just start to tip the chin forwards and just breathe. Let the elbows fall forwards, leave the hands where they are, and just have a moment where you rest the weight of the hands and the elbows on the head and breathe. You're not pushing or you're not pulling your neck down, but just rest the weight of the hands and the arms as if they're hanging. Breathe.
That already feels so good.
Yeah, just finding a bit of length. It does feel good, doesn't it? Especially if you let go. Let the weight of the arms and the hands do the work. You might find, I'm finding I'm getting a few more millimeters of stretch already.
Definitely.
And then just release the hands when you're ready, when you've had enough of that. And slowly bring the head back up. And just test out what alignment you've got there in the head. And just say a little no action. Just free up. Check the jaw is relaxed.
Oh, jaw, yeah. My jaw is always clenched, so that feels good too.
Yeah, get that space going there. Okay, and then just as you're doing that, keep that area of the neck released. Just raise your hands and just have a little look to start with at these amazing things called hands. There are 30,000 touch receptors in every fingertip, which means that you can detect, and just keep turning the hands around one way or the other and just have a look at a few details you may have never seen or not seen and looked at recently. So these 30,000 touch receptors in the fingertips will enable you to detect an eyelash on a smooth surface. So just enjoy that very simple movement of turning the hands over, breathing and turning them over. And then gently put them together and just feel what happens when you actually get those touch receptors brushing across each other. Just feel how much sensation there is in that simple movement. And we can start to really respect the body for these amazing things that we kind of go around taking for granted. And then what's it like to do a classic yoga position of just pressing the hands together? Now, I like this position a lot. I like it because it's completing a circuit and it feels as though energetically there's a cycle that's completed. But I've always loved it. I used to be a dancer and a choreographer. My first career was as such until I moved into the corporate world over 20 years ago now. I'm dating myself, aging myself here. But what I really loved, and we used to use a few yoga movements in our training, was when you press gently into the palms of the hands and you can feel the back muscles and the chest muscles just pinging gently into action. Yeah. And so what you can do for the next few minutes is just ease off really slowly so you can feel all the stages of muscle engagement. You might even feel some heat between the two hands as they come away, or some flow of energy, and then bring them back together. The touch receptors click in and then you press again.
Yeah, I could
Now, there's one amazing thing that you may not know. Carry on. I'm just going to take a drink of water. I've got a tickle in my throat.
Yeah, I mean, even just doing that, Claire, while you're drinking, is like pushing that in. I can just feel all the shoulder blade movements just really engaging. Yeah.
Yes. So they seem to find a nice way to sit down in the back, don't they? And you can just drop those shoulders. If you want to do a few shoulder rolls, feel absolutely free. And then keep the neck free. There's a wonderful thing that's happening when you engage muscle. So just in that simple action of pressing the hands together, and you can keep moving as I talk. But did you know that, muscles, as soon as you move a muscle, you release something called a myokine, which the scientists call one of the hope molecules.
Oh.
In fact, the main one is called irisin. And what we know is that as soon as you flex a muscle, press, whatever it is, you release myokines. They go up, they cross the blood-brain barrier, and they go straight to the center of the brain for hope and optimism. So you can roll the neck forwards while you're here, getting everything you need. Some people like to roll their heads back. Some people believe it's not good for you. I think if you keep space in the back of the neck, it's really good to open up the front of the throat. So feel free. So, myokines. So I think it was Barack Obama that said, while we breathe, we hope. Mm-hmm. And I think what we're saying with physical intelligence is while we move, we hope. The idea of if there's movement in the body, there's hope for us. I love it.
So interesting.
So breathing. And then I'd like you to just change the orientation when you're ready of the hands. I'd like you to make one fist and press it into the hand. And you can bend the knees and press in and brace and then release. Do that with the other hand. So the other hand's going to make the fist. Press in, bend the knees if you are standing up. Press, 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 and release.
Oh, I feel that in my arms there. Yeah,
it's so nice to let go, isn't it? So the idea of tensing and letting go. Let's do that one more time each side. So bending the knees, pressing in, bracing, breathing in, and release on the out breath. And one more time, the other side. And it is nice to release the head as you release the arms as well in whatever direction pleases you. Breathing in and release. Good. All right. So we've got some myokines going. Yeah. And now we're going to release some serotonin. So as you can see, I'm a kind of biochemistry geek. My bedside reading is all things about the body and the chemistry and what's released where by what. And one of the amazing things that we're discovering and discovering more and more about is our gut brain. We know that there's a microbiome in the gut that really influences our mood. And what happens when the gut microbiome is healthy is that we get plenty of serotonin. And what happens is the serotonin that we release hops onto the vagus nerve. It's one of the key nerves for relaxation, recovery, digestion. Hops up, goes up to the brain and makes us feel well and happy. Okay. So it explains why.
Can I just ask a question? Serotonin, is that the happy chemical? I can't remember.
Yeah. So happy, well-being, contentment, a sense of self-esteem, self-worth. So therefore, if we have self-esteem and self-worth, we're also confident in our status in the world without having to push and dominate. Mm-hmm. So serotonin does a whole lot. It is known as one of the happiness and well-being chemicals, but it underpins our sense of value as a human being. Pretty important, eh?
Yeah, very.
So
very.
What you'll be pleased to know if you're a yogi and you've done some yoga is that the twisting action actually stimulates the release of serotonin because you're just twisting and releasing these independent neurons in the gut that get cramped down and stuck in place. And so what I'd love you to do is, just as Tracy's doing right now, is just start to find a twisting action just as pleases you. Breathe. Make sure you're well grounded and your feet are in parallel, just as a note as we get going on this twist. Make sure the knees are bent and flexible so that they can there's a little bit of movement in the knees as you do the flex, as you do the twist. And the hips are not rigidly held forward, but there's a little bit of give as you go round the corner. And what I love is to speed this up a bit and let the arms really go, like you're a kid and you've just discovered that you've got arms that have got weights in them. And you feel free. Sorry, what was that, Tracy?
I said that's a lot of fun just doing this. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
All you've got to do, the only project for the moment is to have fun and release.
Yeah.
So breathing, you can let your eyes go soft if you wish. You might be having enough of that by now. Your spine might be saying, okay, enough of that. And if so, just slowly let that movement die down. If you're still going strong, have another 10 more. Just go for it, you know. Plenty of time. So when you come back to standing, just letting that movement die out till it's a whisper. Close the eyes and just see how your breathing is. And hopefully it's able to fill the body, drop down and feel expansive. When we breathe, we want to breathe diaphragmatically, which means the diaphragm moves down freely, the abdominals get out of the way for the in-breath. And then naturally, easily, the abdominals help expel the air from the mouth. We don't really need to try too hard. But if we've been tight and tense all week, those abdominals might have been holding on for that deadline to get that thing done. So this is a chance to breathe. As you breathe in, just releasing the abdominal muscles. Great stuff, everybody. Now, your heart also has independent neurons in it, and it can release a chemical called oxytocin, which is our social bonding and trust chemical. And there's these neurons that can operate completely independently of the brain neurons that let us know that we're feeling pride or love. So it's a release of oxytocin from those neurons. And of course, when we fall in love or when we have great relationships or when we're working with people at work who we trust, we'll get oxytocin releases all the time. And it's part of the joy of working with people. But what I really like to do is a particular movement that stimulates the release anyway by opening the chest. So every time, if you are a yoga practitioner and you do a chest movement like this and open the chest, if you breathe into the chest and open the chest, you'll also be releasing oxytocin. So when you come back after a stretch like that, even a short one, you feel more open. Now, I like to do it with a big swoop of the arms going up and then like I'm swallow diving. So that's the way I like to do the oxytocin release. You can bend your knees. You can breathe. The chin is raised, and you may not be surprised to hear that we sometimes call this the Kate Winslet. Of course, that iconic moment, if you've seen the film The Titanic.
I have. Where's Liam?
He's got his arms around you. You can just imagine that as well, if that gives you a nice feeling. Certainly does me. Holding on to you. He's got you. So big breaths, shoulders are down but not rammed down. Imagine the whole of the Atlantic in front of you. And when you're ready, let the arms float down. Can be a bit achy on the arms. We were there for quite a while. Then just loosen the shoulders out. And it's highly likely that you'll feel more released in the gut, having done the twists, and then more released in the chest and the heart area, having done the Cape Winslet, or whatever. You can make up your own name for that movement as well. Swallow dive.
Yeah.
The dive. I remember that from your assessment, the dive. Yeah. Swallow dive. The diver. Okay, very good. So if I was with you in the room, I'd love to hear how you're feeling. And I'm sure you're experiencing a change of state. So, of course, movement changes our inner state. Now, I know you usually work on the chest and shoulders, but I thought we would go down to the feet actually, and have a little play with the feet. So, just stand in parallel, and for a moment, just lift the toes right off the ground. Even if you've got shoes on, just try to lift the toes a little bit off the ground. I decided to go barefoot today because it's Friday. And then rest them down again. So their toes are now long and on the floor. And then scrunch them up like you're trying to pick the sole of the shoe off the bottom of your shoe, or the carpet or the rug. You're trying to lift it up. Scrunch them and let them go. And then toes up again. So they go up. And then rest them long. And then scrunch them like you're trying to take the carpet off the floor, or the sole, the bottom of the sole of your shoe, bringing it up. Good. And then just rock backwards and forwards so you can feel the heel digging down. Just rocking the weight backwards and forwards. And then come to a stillness and close your eyes. And I want to let you know that you have 200,000 nerve endings in the sole of each foot. And they respond to pressure, temperature, the need to move towards things that we want to get involved with, or away from things that we don't. They're amazingly responsive. And just feel all of those nerve endings in the soles of your feet. As you think about them, they'll wake up, they'll know that you're thinking about them, and give you a bit more feedback. And the feedback that you want from the soles of the feet and those nerve endings is, we're here, we're stable, we're grounded, we've arrived at the weekend. All is well. We can breathe and be still and be content with our efforts this week. And we can let gravity have our body play down through the skeleton. And can you feel the weight of the body anchoring down through the feet, creating that pressure that you can feel through those nerve endings? We're definitely not weightless. We're not floating away, are we? We've got gravity is pinning us to the planet and making us feel stable, helping us feel stable. And you might already know that this links to your presence, how you are in the present moment, largely relates to how grounded we are. And so connect the sense of gravity falling down through your body with your sense of presence, being there. And also, as you have your eyes closed there, just connect that with your sense of authority. The fact that you You were the author of this week. You did the things that you did for your good reasons. You authored the narrative of the week that was. And just be thankful for that. Thankful that largely there's a whole lot of free will around. Certainly not in every continent or country in the planet. So grounding yourself. And finally, a feeling of gratitude for all the choices that we have. And if you wish, you can just bounce the knees a little bit just to get some of the fluids in the body bouncing around. Don't worry if bits wobble. I truly believe that bits of the body are meant to wobble, right? We're not meant to be sort of held in place. So bouncing, if some bits of you go up and down, that's fine. And in fact, as you bounce, what you're starting to do is to dislodge some of the chemistry. If you like jumping, you can jump. If you're just happy bouncing, that's fine. You're starting to help drain some of the chemistry, the negative chemistry, the sort of chemistry of the breakdown of effort as you've gone through the week, or any stresses you've had. That chemistry those chemicals get lodged in our cells, like the wrong key in a lock. You've got it in, but you can't get it out. And we want to shake that out for the weekend so you can start to feel really happy, relaxed, fulfilled. And what's literally happening is, and you can shake the shoulders and shake any part of your body that you like, you're starting to drain away toxins into the lymph system. Goes through the kidneys, gets flushed out, down to the bladder, and etc., etc. So you're encouraging the lymph system to drain. Good. So down to the feet. We've shaken now, bounced through the whole body, and the very final part of the body that we'll revisit and just have a little look at what's going on is the very top of the spine. And this is quite a lovely place. This is an amazing piece of your anatomy. You can probably feel where the spine disappears into the skull. And then just under that, there's a little nodule. And that's the back of the atlas, the very first vertebra, the very top vertebra. It comes from the Greek god, the god Atlas, holding the world, supporting the world on his shoulders. The lovely thing about the atlas is like it creates a saucer for a wobbly cup. And if you nod your head, you can just feel the yes movement. How delightful is that? Just rocking the skull backwards and forwards on the atlas, experiencing the small parts of that movement. And the yes action happens right at the top of the spine. If you want to take that a little bit bigger, feel free. You're just resting your fingers, pressing them in lightly at the top of the skull. And then when we say no, it's the second vertebra down. And you can probably feel it move when we say no. It's quite a bit more difficult to move the head fully while the arms are in place. So once you've got a feel for that, you can let the hands go and just feel that no action. And then add the word to it. So you're actually going to say, I mean, you might feel a bit silly, but never mind, we can get over it. You're going to say out loud the word no as you do the action. No, no, no. Connect the word with the action. No, 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 no. Good. Then go back to yes. Just connect the yes action. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Now, what's really funny is if you try to say no while you're nodding. No. No. No, it creates a lot of confusion. And yes, as you shake your head, certainly in Western culture, this creates a lot of confusion, and all cultures, in fact, have their contradictions. So yes, 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 when we're saying no with the head is very confusing. So now all we're going to do to finish, and I'm hoping you've got privacy to use your voice, because everything we do with our body helps to release our voice. We know that. But if you're not in private and you can't really let rip, then I would suggest that you just do the movement full out. And then when you are in private, find a moment to do this exercise and vocalize it. It's going to be a series of 10 yeses. And we're going to start fairly polite. And then by the end of it, we are rocking it with yeses. It's just a big yes to the weekend, yes to our successes. Are you ready?
Yep.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes. And nod the head to tell yourself yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Right, that was 5. Now we're going 5 more and we're really taking it up. Whatever your body wants to do. Yes. 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 Yeah, I love the way you extended that last one. Yes. Like we're on a mountaintop.
Yeah.
Oh, and then rest. Reground. Bring yourself back. Lovely. So that's our half an hour done for the day.
That was so lovely. I feel amazing. I can hear myself on reverb for some reason. But that was lovely. I do that. The neck. I think it's just that. I love that stretching out, the Kate Winslet pose, and actually it's that shaking. And it made me think of maybe that's why traditionally people go dancing on a Friday, to do that shaking, to really, really shake it out.
Yeah, and of course, for those Strictly fans, even by watching all the hip movements, so, if you're a Brit and you're watching Strictly Come Dancing, a very famous show here, it's there's an awful lot that you can pick up just by watching other dancers as well. We're having a percentage of the same neurological reactions when we watch dancers when we're doing it, which is very interesting.
Yeah. Oh, Claire, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And please, so if people want to find out more about your work and what you do, tell us where they should follow you or find you.
All right. Well, you can follow me on LinkedIn. You can actually connect with me on LinkedIn directly, Claire Dale. You can follow us on Twitter. That's Claire Dale PI. But actually what I'd love you to do is to tell all the coaches, all the people in the professions of helping, coaching, counselors, psychotherapists, physical trainers, nutritionalists, that there is a course on coaching that they can come and do with us at the Physical Intelligence Institute. And that website is coachwithpi.com.
Coachwithpi.com. I think I can put that in. Coach with let me spell it PI.com. I'm putting that in the message. And then also just to, I read, this was our kind of like course book on the coaching course, and it's fascinating. It basically, tells you about the science and the chemicals of stress and happiness and how to hack them. So it's been really, really interesting. So Claire, thank you so much. You've sent us off into the weekend all lovely and relaxed. I really want to say thank you so much for coming along, and hopefully you'll come back for more and teach us more.
I would love to come back. There's, as you know, there's so much in the body of work. Be a real pleasure to come back and do some more. Have a great week, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you next week. And I'm going to end the broadcast now. Hold on.